So who says you're listening to? Yeah. Hello, everyone. I am Mark Nicholas. If you're listening in to the first time, welcome. If you're a regular listener, welcome back. I am an award-winning comedian of 6.5 years, and with me is my lovely co-host.
My name is Kyle Wolf. I'm the one that doesn't sound like a pantomime pirate, and you're listening to Unmedicated, a podcast where two neurodivergent guys, aka myself and Mark, talk about neurodivergent things, i.e. life, with other neurodivergent people, i.e. the guests. And today's topic is...
Excellent.
Right, so Mark, exercise. How does your neurodivergency impact how you exercise?
To be honest, you'd think, being autistic, I'd like to keep a routine of keeping fit, but I don't know. I'm so bad at trying to stay on top of it, to be honest, especially if I have a very busy week. I'm being self-employed, I tend to. I'll have weeks where it's pretty empty and I'll go running once every couple of days. But if I've got a busy week, like I forgot to run at all this week and now I feel really bad, and or I play football on Sundays, but then I don't play every Sunday. So it's actually quite hard trying to stay in a routine. I'm trying to keep up with it though, because I think it's really important to. But yeah. I don't always get it right.
I have to exercise at least weekly, just for my brain, and also it's a fucking vanity thing as well. I can't lie to you. I struggle with. I don't know if I want to say I struggle with body image. Well, yeah, fuck it. I think I do. I think like most people, I do struggle with body image
yeah.
to an extent, which is why I kind of feel like I have to go to the gym at least once a week to do weightlifting and all that kind of stuff. But but there are obviously times where it does slip. Like for example, this week I've not been particularly well, and also some other things have happened which have meant that I've just not been able to go to the gym. But I'm making sure I will go tomorrow. But I can really feel within myself that I do feel quite shit right now because I haven't been. And I can really feel my stomach. And even though my stomach isn't that big, it feels so much bigger than it feels to me so much bigger than it actually is. And I know that to other people, it will look like, I've had people say, there's nothing on you. You're fine. There's nothing on you. To me, it really doesn't feel like that. So I have to.
I mean, my stomach is bigger than it feels. So I can't really say I have the same problem. Because also as well, again, I read somewhere, and I'm not using this as an excuse, but autistic...
But you totally are.
Autistic people find it harder to lose weight. And I think there's a reason behind it. It's because the one thing I will always have to have food. I'll never miss a meal. I'm pretty good at that. But I will miss exercise. If I'm overwhelmed that week anyway and I can't have everything in my brain, I will forget to exercise. But I also walk a lot anyway because part of my day job, I'm going out in the community, I'm walking. I walk everywhere. I love walking. I think walking's great for you. And I think, it's
Is your exercise quite varied?
So I used to go to the gym, but it got to a point where I wasn't going regularly enough that it didn't become worth it financially.
What made you stop?
It was basically whenever I'd forget to go, I'm like, I'm spending 30 quid a month doing this, and I've been like once this month. It's not worth it. And I would just... It would also be travelling to the gym and then travelling back. It would just it would just be that effort of doing that. So now I just stick a podcast going. Normally I'm medicated, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. And I just go for a nice little half an hour to an hour long jog. And I normally, we live in a lovely rural area, so I run around the forest and just stuff like that. And
What's your exercise? What's your goal for exercise?
My goal for exercise, well, I think is to, like everyone else, is to lose weight. I don't want a six pack or anything. I don't want to be hench. I just want the fat to come off. But I do. The thing is, as well, it's about diet as well. So I very much recognise that my diet isn't great. So, like when I was out in Vietnam, mentioned it again. I ate twice a day, and I exercised, and I ran once every 2 days. So the weight just fell off me. So the goal is to lose weight, but with that is diet as well. So I think trying to combine those two can be quite difficult, but I like to think I can do it.
Yeah.
But what's nice as well is because my girlfriend exercises. We don't do it together. We don't run together, but
Yeah, no, couples that do that freak me out. Man. I see them in the gym, and I'm like, really? This should be your spaces. Like,
I was going to say, look, there's other forms of exercise you could do together. That's technically an exercise. That it is. Oh, that's a topic we haven't covered.
What, sex?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, stay tuned to next series, guys.
Yeah, so
Kyle and Mark talking about sex. What more could you want?
And not just talking. What? X-rated, no.
George's speed just went way up.
Oh my God, there we go. We can stream to OnlyFans.
We've got a red room and everything.
To be honest, I didn't want to say this, George, but this studio is perfect for filming adult films, probably. Kind of is. His face is like, what makes you think I haven't done that?
So, yeah, exercise. Okay, so how would you...
Sorry, it's the cheese.
So how has your neurodivergence impacted how you exercise?
Well, again, it's when I have too much going on that week, things fall out. But in general,
doesn't exercise help though when you have too much?
Oh yeah, no. When I do the exercise, my mental health is so much better because I get this kind of rush, I get this adrenaline. It's like I've had 3 cups of coffee today. I'm quite hyper. But I know I'm going to have a crash in a bit, and that's just the nature of coffee. But when you exercise, you get that adrenaline, and you feel like that throughout the day.
Yeah, you are a bit like a chipmunk that's had Red Bull right now.
I don't drink Red Bull for the reason of it's worse.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what about yourself? How do you feel after you exercise?
I feel mental clarity, which is something.
I thought I was about to say I feel mental.
I feel well, either. I feel, right, I either feel great or the cloud of great which was in my brain has lifted, and then the actual emotion of which maybe isn't so brilliant or isn't so nice actually takes over.
Yeah.
So it allows me to feel. That's what it does. It enables me to open my third eye and feel whatever it is I'm meant to be feeling at that moment.
Are you sure you're just exercising?
I'm sure. Yeah.
Third eye stuff. It sounds like
yes. It opens up the frontal cortex.
It really does, and I have to admit, I do feel better. Yeah. The mental clarity. That's a really important thing, actually. Yeah, you do feel a bit like refreshed. You feel it's like a one big deep breath.
Well, sometimes you don't feel refreshed. Sometimes I feel like absolute shit, but that's how I need to feel at that moment, and that's okay.
But I think there's the difference between feeling shit, like feeling low, and feeling just exhausted. You feel exhausted, but you feel good about it.
No, I'm talking about actually feeling low, feeling sad or angry about something.
But it allows you mental clarity.
Myself to process it. Yeah. Oh, there we go.
We're done.
All right. So, Mark, shall we get a guest on?
Absolutely.
Fun.
Right. Yep, you're on. Who do you want me to start on?
Start on me, and then we'll go wide when I introduce Richard, and then it'll be whichever.
Start then, whenever you're ready.
Right. Okay, so today's guest is a comedian, actor, writer, and I would describe him as all those things. He may describe himself as a bit of a bin fire as his last show. It's Richard Stott, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Richard.
Hello, how you doing?
Hi. I don't know why I went really, really
You went
high.
really loud as well. you know these pick up, don't
Yeah,
you?
I work in a school, right? And the headmaster pulled me into the head teacher pulled me into his office the other day, and he said, "I can hear you from from wherever you are."
And that's in a school as well.
That's in a school.
Yeah.
Did you introduce the children as a bin fire as well?
Richard, so what do you got? I have to ask this and everything. What do you got?
What have I got?
Yeah, what do you got, man?
What have I? That's a wide question. What do you mean? What have I got?
Every time you ask this, everyone responds differently. Everyone's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like,
That's
you
kinda
say, am I
what-
holding?
That's
No.
why I like it. People go like, "Oh,
Throws everyone. He just likes to make people with a sense of unease. That's
Yeah,
all he does.
brilliant. Let's create a sense of tension in this podcast before we continue. I've got nothing in my pockets, if that's
excellent."
what you. Yeah.
That's good.
Good to know. Good to know. Good security check done.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, nothing in the bank either. So,
that's
yeah. I said it's awful, isn't it? Yeah. Does that answer it?
Basically.
Yeah.
So what is your is there a name for it?
What have I got?
Yeah.
Right.
There we go.
You see, I wasn't even thinking about it. That's so I have Poland syndrome. Yeah, it affects my left hand.
Oh, okay.
Causes my left hand. I was basically, it's a birth defect. I was born a little bit misshapen with my fingers and stuff like that. Weirdly, missing a pectoral muscle on my left side as well. So. It's one of those weird things where it's one of those things that people learn to live with quite quickly. So there's not a lot of research on it, and there's just not a lot known about it. So I had surgery, lots of surgery when I was a kid, but stopped having surgery when I was about 11.
Got bored of it, right?
Oh, absolutely bored. we were building up to the two big ones, right? And the two big surgeries I had was where we moved a big chunk of my shoulder blade muscle round to my pectoral to kind of they did it all through like keyhole through my armpit as well. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. But then also if you think that's Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
What we did next is we removed these two fingers on my left hand that I couldn't use very well. I had one that was really, really short and one that was really kind of like thin. I don't know. They were getting in the way. And we amputated those, and they replaced them with the second biggest toe off each foot. So that's toes on my hand, right? And they did that in the 90s.
Wow, that was a risk.
It was proper analog surgery as well. Yeah, that was
You were the first one, and they just thought, we'll see.
You know what? I don't know if it was one of the first one, but I think I was in the first 20.
The first 20?
Yeah, I think so.
So how old were you when that happened?
11. That
11,
was that was the last one I had. I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, I was gonna
but it got me where I needed to be, because beforehand I was unable to use my hand for lots of things. I was like 11 years old, still completely unable to tie my shoelaces using Velcro for some reason at school. You know, and kids will pick on anything that stands out.
I was going to say, how was your like? I know this isn't the topic, but how did that affect your school life?
You know, it was actually fine. I never really
That's
got.
not what we want to hear.
I know.
We want to hear trauma,
I know
damn it.
it's not what anyone wants to hear. I sometimes work for this Poland syndrome charity. I'm an ambassador for them, and they do really good work. And
What's the name, Shama?
it's PIP UK. That's who they are. They do brilliant work into research and everything like that. But sometimes I get a lot of people messaging me via. They found me through some of those networks, and they're like, "How did you deal with bullying?" And I'm like, I didn't get bullied, so sorry, I can't help you. And it's not what people want to hear.
People feared me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I don't think I would be as outgoing or as quick-witted if I didn't have this.
Yeah.
Because I've had to develop a way to get to a punchline before anybody else could get there, or if
100%,
anybody
yeah.
else came up with something, I've got
Yeah.
something better. It's probably been one of my techniques of.
It's a defense
coping with that.
mechanism.
Yeah, I think
I know
so.
it well, my friend. I
Yeah,
know it
yeah,
well.
yeah.
I think that's the thing with a lot of like comedians with disabilities. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, we get there first. There's a bit of a
You have to, otherwise they
Yeah.
get there, and that's not nice.
no, it's
Yeah, yeah,
definitely
yeah.
not
If
nice.
we get there first, then it's fine. It's
Yeah, yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's fine.
Is there
Yes.
but is there any other is there other comedians with Poland syndrome? Are you the only
No, I
one?
don't know. I don't know if there's any. I don't know if there's any with Poland syndrome. That was just my watch. I don't know if there's any with Poland syndrome. Actually, I don't know. The only person that I know of that was famous who had it was Jeremy Beadle.
Really?
Yeah, genuinely.
That's what that was. No, sorry, no, I didn't know that. Genuinely, for the longest time, I didn't know what that disability was called. I thought he has a small hand.
Yeah,
That's it.
he had Poland syndrome, and you know what? He barely ever talked about it. I think he discussed it once on This Morning, and he just kind of went with it. Weirdly, when everybody went a bit crazy during lockdown. And I had a
not at all. What happened?
I had a birthday at the back end of 2020, and we were allowed to be outside in groups at that point. And we decided for my birthday we were going to go and visit Jeremy Beadle's grave. So he's in Highgate Cemetery, by the way.
Oh, that's where like all the famous ones are like Karl Marx and
he's
and
actually
Douglas
not
Adams.
far from Karl Marx.
Oh my
And,
god, that's incredible.
that was happy birthday to me. Yeah.
I'm just trying to think if there's any autistic celebrities graves I should be going to visit. You know?
Probably loads. Probably
Yeah.
loads of undiagnosed ones. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
Let's face it, Isaac Newton.
Yeah,
Like,
Isaac Newton, Einstein. I mean, the one that's named,
Oppenheimer. You know.
the only one that's named after my condition, Asperger's, is Dr. Hans Asperger's. I don't really want to visit his grave considering what research he did. So, no, thank you. But that must have been birthday. Wow, happy birthday,
look,
Richard.
it was a great birthday, that. Walking around cemetery. It was absolutely, honestly, it was stonkingly good. Yeah.
That's amazing.
We brought hip flasks and everybody got
Nice.
drunk on whiskey, and it was great. Yeah.
Hosted to Jeremy Beadle. And,
And a bunch of other like famous graves that we found while we're out there. Yeah, it was good.
Might as well. Might as well.
There's loads of them.
No, it's Highgate Cemetery is well worth a visit. I think I took a date there. No, she suggested it.
Yeah.
By the way, she suggested it. And,
It is beautiful, though.
Oh, it's stunning. It is
Yeah.
stunning. It's like I know people. It is amazing because the history within that graveyard is just
Yeah, there's a little brochure you get round with all the kind of famous things mapped out. You know, all right, tick them all off.
Really.
Yeah.
Do you know what my favorite thing about? Do you know what my favorite thing about cemeteries is? You get to walk around them. It gives you a lot of exercise, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, great
yeah.
thing coming on to that topic.
Yes.
We always find it like, how are we going to get onto the actual topic? Because we always veer off.
Usually it's him. I'm surprised it was me that was able to bring it back this
Yeah,
time.
because
Yeah.
ADHD, autistic, I'm the one that's meant to, but no, I was just enjoying the cemetery talk too much.
was
It's
too,
not my
actually.
specialism. It's just like, all right, let's get back on track. Yes, so exercise. So,
As in exercising, not as in exorcism. So.
well, it could
That's our podcast.
be. How do you raise people from the dead? No, like
Just don't look behind that curtain, please.
yeah, the studio is. Yeah, imagine that night. No, so like, how is like kind of exercise for you with your disability? Did you learn to
Yeah.
adapt quite quickly?
I have to adapt all the time, right? Only really at the gym. That's the only. It's the only way that it sort of affects me because not only am I like more heavily right dominant than most people, my whole right side is about twice as strong as this side.
Really?
So it's weird. So if I'm like I'm now getting to the point. I'm 37 and I do actually need to go to the gym. Like my natural metabolism has gone. And I need to be going.
Yes.
So
Preach. We're in the same boat.
I was having a great time up until about 28. And then I started going a little bit. And then in the last 3 years, I really, really started noticing that I do need to exercise. So if I'm hitting the weights or anything like that, it's like, what do you do? Do I just lift what that can do, and basically this kind of gets no exercise, or do I compensate by just lifting completely different weights, but that feels completely unbalanced. It's a weird, and I'm finding my way through it basically.
Do you have a trainer or?
Well, this is the thing. I always find it. I've had a couple of conversations with personal trainers, but I feel like
They don't know anything.
well, they know how to exercise with, kind of. How do I word this? Regular, able-bodied people.
Perfect.
But
Perfectly worded.
as soon as you bring, hey, I got a load of this going on, they're like, and they're like, yeah, well, they don't actually know about the condition. Maybe I'm throwing them in the deep end in something that they don't know.
Yeah.
Are they qualified to advise me? Are they really, really? Are they going to be able to advise me?
But like when you were younger, did you? Because actually, my girlfriend has got hemiplegia, so her left side is actually it's similar to yours. It's smaller, and her hand is. It's
Right.
not obviously like Poland syndrome, cerebral palsy. But she had all this. She was telling me she had all this physiotherapy. She had splints in that left hand to try and not sort of straighten the muscles or anything like that. Did you have any like kind of physiotherapy and?
I think after surgeries and things like that, I've had physiotherapy, but they haven't given me anything specifically for about the condition I've got. Probably because of the lack of research that's in there.
Yeah.
So they don't really know what can help. So I just sort of, again, it comes back to that way of people have just learned to live with this kind of thing. I'm working it out myself. I've worked out what I can do at the gym, what's too much, and it's just about compromising all the time for me.
Yeah.
And then in terms of like, exercising outside of the gym, sports, everything like that, it really never stopped me doing much.
Yeah.
It's there's very little that you really need, especially at a complete amateur level, that you need to be. There's no way I can go into professional tennis. But that was
Such
never.
a shame.
It was just
What a
never an
shame.
option for me.
If you
What a
do
shame.
it one-handed, that wouldn't be a problem.
But you're never going to make it as a pro one-handed, are you?
Because you got to do like
Yeah.
double-handed.
I mean, I guess like there's the what do you
Paralympic.
Paralympics, but with tennis. So
We should really know that by now, seeing as we're a
Very
neurodiversity and disability
disabled.
This is the thing,
podcast.
right? The Paralympics, there was a guy who had Poland syndrome that competed in the Olympics, not the Paralympics, in boxing, and he got a silver. Oh no, he got bronze actually. He was just missing a pectoral muscle. He had Poland syndrome. He didn't have any of the hand affected, but like he got, and now it's like, oh right. Oh, good for you, mate. I don't know. Sometimes I sit there and I go, you know what? For a guy with a visible and a physical disability, who was, told by all of his teachers that he was pretty stupid all the way through school and everything like that, I'm actually doing quite well for
Yeah,
myself.
do you know what, mate?
I'm doing all right. But then the fucking Paralympics come around. And everyone goes, oh, you lot can do anything, can't you?
Yeah. My partner's the same. He's like, I fucking hate the Paralympians. Why? Now I'm expected to do things. I think that's why she joined the gym.
Everybody
because it's
bloody
like-
sits there and goes, oh, right, disabled people can do stuff that I can't do. This is great. And it's like, no, they're athletes. They're at the top of their game. Yeah.
I know, like they're a lot fitter than able-bodied people. So it's just like it is crazy, isn't it? It's just, I think people just assume, well, you can do anything now, can't you? But and that's where I think progress can sometimes stop, because then they thought, no, we don't need to make any more adaptations. Look at them. We know that's not the case.
This is the thing. I think this is a broader point, but I think generally in terms of the UK public, when it comes to what they see as palatable in disability on stage, screen, anything like that, it's fine when they don't feel sorry for the disabled person, right?
Yeah.
And they don't have to look at them and go, oh, God, I'm glad I'm not in that situation.
Yeah.
So the Paralympics, they absolutely bloody love it.
Yeah.
But, you put anyone with any sort of discernible disability on screen just acting in something, and all hell breaks loose. Do you remember there was a TV presenter and she had limb difference. She had part of her arm amputated below the elbow, and she was a CBeebies presenter. And the complaints that rolled in, like, people were not happy about this.
I'll tell you what I really hate, right? Whenever I see a post about Rosie Jones, right? Whether you find her funny or not, whatever, right? That's neither here nor there, right? the posts underneath that are almost uniformly disgusting.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's really...
There are meme accounts that just use her to get content, to get engagement now. They just say, they'll just say UK's best comedian, and then it'll just engagement farm, because people are just so ready to just hate on her. And the thing is, I've waded into one of these conversations before, and someone was saying she's not funny or whatever. She's only on.
But you can't say that because humour's so subjective. And I know this is, I know
but
that's like
even that they go further. They say people. They're only getting chances because of box tickets. It's like, okay, so why is she selling out shows?
yeah.
Why are people going to her live shows? Why is it every time she goes to Edinburgh a complete self? What are
She
people
must-
performatively doing
yeah.
that? You know, come
Well,
on.
exactly.
Like,
But actually, to bring
Yeah.
it back to
Yeah.
exercise, you know, obviously people take photos of themselves in the gym or exercise. Have you
Yeah,
ever
yeah.
like sort of taken a photo in the gym or when you're exercising and you get nasty comments below, or does that?
no. I rarely take a picture of myself in the gym, and I don't think I've ever posted. I'm just
Of course, just a lot of
not
people
one
do.
Of those
I don't
people.
yeah.
Not one of those people. I sometimes like send a picture of my picture of myself in the gym to my girlfriend, and she's like, "Well done, you! Well done, you going! So proud of you!" You know, and that's the only time I really send anything out. Yeah.
Sorry, that does sound patronising. It probably isn't, no. But...
I need it though.
No, it's true. But yeah, like, what was your favourite sport then to do?
I just love playing football.
Oh, yeah, same, yeah.
I'm really good at sort of middle distance running, like 5Ks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was always really naturally quite good at that at school. I don't like doing it. I like playing. I love playing football. I actually liked rugby quite a lot when I was a kid as well. When we were doing that in school, it's nothing. I've never pursued sport outside of education, really.
No.
God no.
You do it for the enjoyment.
I just have it. Yeah, the odd kick about it. I've been to a couple of five-a-side, games. That's kind of it. Yeah.
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 No, I do. I did, and as long as you do it for the enjoyment and not taking it sort of. What's your position with football? Sorry, I'm going to completely lose Carl Wolf now.
That's fine.
I was in a football team when I was younger. I played for a team called Ticton, which is a tiny little village outside of Beverley, which is a tiny little town outside of Hull.
which is a slightly less tiny city.
Yeah, it's quite a small city in a part of the world that not a lot of people go to.
I don't get why Hull has that bad a reputation.
It's just it's getting better, but it's just been deprived for so long.
Yeah.
But anyway, I usually played centre midfield.
Yeah.
And we were a really bad team. We got beaten 17-0 once.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
Pardon?
Yeah. We got
in a 90-minute game.
Yeah. Actually, and if you think about it as well, right? We were 14.
Did you just not turn up? Or did you,
No, we were that bad. We were so bad, and we were in a cup game against a team that were like 3 leagues higher.
Were at least half your team blind, or was this...
No, we're just like these. They were just so much better than us. They were They were just one of the best teams in the county.
Do you know? I'd have supported you guys. I'd have wanted you guys to win.
It was rough. It was rough. It was. I don't know. I remember the manager just because at the end of every sort of game, the manager would say like, "All right, and Scott's man of the match today. Well done, everybody," everything like that. And he said, "All right, you did your best. It's a cup game. They're a couple of leagues higher than you, and everything like that. Whatever, And then this guy called Matt, he was 13-year-old kid, went, "Who's man of the match today?" And he just went, "We'll leave it today, shall we?"
And what happened to, I want to know what happened to Matt? That's the real question.
Matt was one of our better players actually, and he moved on to another team at the end of the season. Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah.
I grew up in East London, right? And so Leighton Orient football team did this thing where they were doing like an inclusive, like kind of a football event, and so it'd be all these kids with disabilities, and because of my autism diagnosis, I was eligible to go along, right? So I thought, oh, do you know what? I'm doing really well in this football match. And in the nicest possible way, most of the other children were in wheelchairs. So it's not taking the mick. It's because I had an unfair advantage, obviously.
Yeah,
and
you did.
obviously
And they still beat you.
yeah, and then they did, you know.
Yeah.
But I thought I was this amazing footballer, and then when I played in an able-bodied team, it was just like the difference. It's like, no, rubbish. But yeah, it was. But it was great. It was really lovely because I got to learn about other kids with disabilities, and so I grew up around lots of different children with different disabilities. So it's just like it doesn't. None of that kind of. You don't have that when you're introduced to that as a kid. People don't judge, because you end up, growing up actually being more well-rounded. Really. And that's where you get the negative comments, people who don't know, who've never met someone with a disability.
That's what it always is in all sort of in any area where someone can be stigmatized, or it's always people who haven't had direct experience, and there's a sort of, I don't know, a miseducation or a fear of the unknown or something like that, and that's usually where that kind of comes from. It's I mean, I don't even know if I was I don't even know if I was exposed to lots of different kids with different disabilities when I was growing up. I small town. I think I was the one. I was the
token one.
I was the one that everybody met and went, yeah, right.
Did you have to stand in the middle of the village on a Sunday morning with a bell?
You didn't have any. You didn't have any like names, did you? Like
no
one gave you any horrible names.
No, it was no one gave me any horrible names. It was.
Oh, that's good.
That's just Richard.
That's basically it. It was all. I don't know. Maybe I got lucky. Maybe there was a way that I carried myself that people were like, "Oh, by the way, if you take the piss out of him for his hand, he actually doesn't care." So this is the thing. If you react to things, that's when people go, "All right, that's a weakness. We can focus on that." And I just don't think I've ever reacted to anything.
I just remember I had there were two kids. I think one was a year just above me, and one was just a year below me. This is like in the infants. Obviously, they went to specialist schools after, like at some point afterwards. But they both had cerebral palsy, and we just accepted it.
Yeah, there was two kids, a couple of years below me, same situation, and everyone just sort of accepted that. Even like. They would be included when we were playing football in the fields and stuff like that. And, there was a guy in my class, actually, he'd had a health problem where he needed crutches for about 2 years. And, it was everyone would just sort of be completely inclusive. Yeah. So, yeah.
And I think there's, even though we're a long way off being fully inclusive, right? I work in a primary school at the moment.
Yeah.
Right? And seeing children who are well, I don't think any of them are neurotypical, but that's another story for another day.
Right, okay.
But the neurotypical children, just how and the neurodiverse children just really embracing each other. It really does give me some hope, and I know that's in metropolitan southeast London. That's not representative of the rest of the country in that, but it is good to see.
Yeah, and I think. It's what's great about what the kind of era that we're living through is that people are so much more informed about things that they weren't 20 years ago, because the dawn of social media has allowed people to share information so readily, so frequently, and upon subjects that wouldn't get airtime in the mainstream media or anything like that. So people are clued up. And people that you wouldn't even expect have a lot more information and understanding of all sorts of different subjects. And then obviously the flip side of that is, because we've got more research, more information, more people are finding out that they're getting diagnosed. And then there's some people that go, all right, seems like everyone.
And it's literally to do with the fact that you just have more information now. That's literally, that's all it is. It
more
is
data. That's
it. It is. More data, more numbers. We know more things now.
And how brains work. Funny that how when you get more technology and you get better, and you get better technology, and you can do better research into things. Yeah, funny how that happens, isn't it, guys?
Yeah.
And it's not just one thing that you thought. Funny that.
But yeah, no, but also as well, you said your condition isn't talked about. I have to admit, I didn't know much about it until I think I saw you doing stand-up. Like, I didn't know about... do you find that gives you an opportunity to talk about it more? And
I mean, I don't really care if I talk about it or not really. For me, it was just a vein of material that was working. It was. It was
do you know what?
The thing is, comedians are always just going to. Lots of comedians they talk about their life experience. So I'm always going to talk about my life experience from the lens of someone who has a visible disability.
Yeah.
So it's a weird one when you go into comedy with. Anything like this, because you get the feeling of people like, okay, when are you going to stop talking about this now? When are you going to do sets that aren't about this?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well,
I've had
actually,
people say
I've
that
got
to me,
loads
yeah.
of stuff about this, but all you guys focus on is, when I talk about that, I had a review saying maybe Richard Stott can put this in the done folder as he moves on
The
to his
done
career.
folder? What's the done
The
folder?
bloody done folder.
Yeah.
Right, well, it turns out I've still got it.
It's not going away anytime soon. Oh, like it's grown back.
I'm still having experiences that are involved with this. And then the other side of that is that when you don't talk about it,
People are thinking, why? The audience are thinking, but he's not talking about this. We
Yeah.
can clearly see it.
or not so much the audience, but it's if I do a show that isn't really about this, and I've a press interview and everything like that, they always open with like, okay, tell us about your condition, your disability, and everything like that. I'm like, well, the show isn't really about that, at all. And they're like, okay, so who do you hope to inspire? Who else? Does any like?
No, I
why are you
know.
asking me that? Would you ask anybody else that?
Yeah, you just go about living your life.
Bitch. Myself.
Yeah, I'm my own inspiration. How about
if I
that?
inspire someone, great. I'm not out there to be a TED talker.
Yeah.
I'm not out there to.
to be a Paralympian.
I'm not.
Let him just tell his knob jokes and fuck off.
Absolutely, I'm not there to give people hope.
I mean, if we want to take anything away from this podcast episode, it is that there is no hope.
No.
I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to encourage anybody.
So, what is to try and get back to the topic a bit more? What is your
What was the topic? Was it
exercise?
Okay, good, cool.
Yeah.
What is your exercise routine? So you go to the gym. What is it? What's your routine?
Right. So I'm trying to lose a bit of weight at the moment, and I'm not overweight, but I know what I need to get to.
Richard, we're in the same position.
I've got
mate. Don't worry.
I've got a kind of skinny fat thing going on, right?
Richard,
Yeah.
you're talking my language.
And I've got very much a fat thing going on. So you two, fine.
I'm on the treadmill. I'm on the stepper. I thought about going on the bike, and I spent like 40 minutes on the bike, and I realised, that was a lovely exercise, but I've burnt a third of the calories that I did on the treadmill. For
Fucking
God's
boring.
sake, yeah. And
it's just very tedious, repetitive. Isn't
so
it?
yeah, it's all repetitive. I don't really enjoy the gym and exercise. I don't even feel good after I've been. Everyone says you feel good afterwards. I don't. I don't understand how people can go to the gym and work out and then just go to work. Like, I'm wiped after I go to the gym. Absolutely.
Yeah, I
wiped.
never understand people 5 in the morning doing it, and I'm going. I did that.
I
once.
used to do that. a few times.
I did that a couple of times, and then I just realised I was so tired after.
I just realised I like to sleep.
Yeah. That's the other thing. But I'll do a lot of cardio, and then I'll be down in the weights room, just I don't know, just making it up as I go along, really.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I always listen to podcasts. I listen to history podcasts when I'm doing it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What, the rest is history?
Yes, I listen to a lot of the rest is history while I'm
Nice.
while I'm in the gym. So that's sort of my routine. The other thing I didn't mention is I bloody love water sports. I love paddleboarding. I love surfing and stuff like that. I don't get to do it very much, but like,
Yeah.
What,
actually
living in
quite
London,
good
you
at
don't get to do
No.
that. Oh,
No,
All those waves.
I know, right? There is like a surf club, I think, in London that you know you could get on the minibus.
Where?
I've not done it yet. It costs money, and I need to invest in a board and a wetsuit. And I also haven't done it in years, so it might be a rubbish when I get there. But yeah, apparently you kind of meet up at like 6 o'clock in the morning in a minibus. And
yeah,
just
you've
get
lost
out
me.
there.
You've lost me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've lost me.
It's at 6 a.m. minibus. Nope. Absolutely. So hang on, you used to do, was it like thing happening in Hull and surfing? Or?
I know. I used to do a lot of skateboarding when I was a teenager. And then I did a couple of surf school lessons in Portugal on a holiday. And this was after doing like paddleboarding. And it just turns out because of all those years of skateboarding as a teenager, I'm naturally quite good at balancing and got that core to kind of focus on it. And I just loved it. It's great. If I could do anything, it would be you know, training to do a bit more of that. That would be great.
Yeah, a bit of surfing,
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds great. I'm just not great in the sea. Like, I'm just, no, do you know what? I just...
You get overstimulated.
In the many years I've known you, I think that's the funniest thing you've ever said.
Thank you. I've had an award-winning show now.
You're not great in the sea. What does that entail?
Well, no, but it's. I like the waves coming over me. I like that. But it's like if I go, like I had a really bad experience when I was swimming in the sea once. It was. You know, I got caught in the riptide.
Oh, that's
and it's
scary.
really fucking scary.
I've never had that. Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, that was getting really scared. And my girlfriend was like with me too, and she used to do like lifeguard and stuff. And so she said to me, "Oh yeah,
Which girlfriend was this? Was it?
yeah, Ola. She was.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. She's Irish, so we used to swim in a lot.
Okay.
Sorry, my ex-girlfriend, since they covered one. So he told me to lie on my back. That was the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, so when we got back to the beach, right, this guy went, "Are you okay?" I was okay. I said, "Yeah." I was like asking to like someone to help me. And he went, "Oh, we just thought you were scared of the seals," because that's what I would do in that situation. I mean, oh my god, seals! Like, I just don't. The seals were miles away. Like,
yeah. Well, how'd you get out of that situation?
yeah, but lie on your back. So she
Right.
saw me. She saw what's happening,
Yeah, okay.
and very lucky. She was like, not to panic, because the more you panic, the worse it is. So I was always told, lie on your back. So I like going swimming in the sea, but I never go beyond the waves because then it gets a bit.
Yeah.
I'm not the strongest swimmer. I've never been the strongest swimmer. Like, yeah,
I'd always get told off for going too far out.
yeah.
So I thought I was better than I actually was. But
I never go too far out. Like it's different when you're in a group surfing, whatever. But like that's a different thing. I don't like the idea of going out. You know, even in a small group or anything like that. As soon as you get into deep water, it's really. I've got an overactive imagination. So,
Yeah.
and, and you know, I
can't see the bottom.
Visualize anything. And like, so I remember one time I was just going over like. The swells were fairly big, so when the wave was coming, you couldn't see what was over the next one. And I was out of my depth, and I was like, imagine if you just went over the next one. There was just like a dorsal fin that just like quickly went in there. I'm like, oh no! And then you just you hit panic mode and you get going.
So so with surfing then, but that's. Do you not then get freaked out by the way?
I mean, I'm very, very low level. I'm extremely low level. Like you know, the waves I've been on are like they wouldn't even be shoulder height on me. Like,
I'll never go to Nuki then. The waves are like.
No, I saw Nuki and I wasn't going in that.
Yeah,
I wasn't good enough for that.
Yeah, so. Because I've never been the strongest swimmer, so it's just that's why. Like when I was a kid, when you had swimming lessons as a kid, and like people are like, if you're a good swimmer, you can go straight to the deep end, but if you're not, you go to the shallow end. And I was trying to show off in front of my mates. I was like, I'm going in the deep end, and like, okay, everyone jump in. And the teacher's like, get out, and it's more humiliating because actually, but I just wanted to show off in front of my mates.
My nephew is starting swimming lessons this week, and he is 5 months old.
Oh.
They do that now, don't they? They
Mum
do.
and baby swimmings, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that
I
going
think that's
on.
I think that's the right way to do it.
Apparently, they can swim naturally when they're born, can't they, or
Just
something
throw
like
them
that? And then they forget. So if you start
Well, no,
early,
but it's why a lot of people have water births, because actually, you used to be, when they're in the womb, they're genuinely, that's why, because when you're in the womb, you're water anyway. Try not to get too graphic, but that's kind of.
yeah.
So that's it. Just swim pool should be full of like midwives and be.
Yeah.
So Richard, it's been great having you. all right?
That's a weird topic to end it on. I'm very sorry. I'm autistic. I have no filter.
I think we covered literally everything from literally birth to exercise to
Yeah, we
death.
can. Yeah.
And
yeah,
that I don't
because
like
we
to
started.
see.
We started at the graveyard. It's gone.
did.
Yeah,
We did.
We've done a full
circle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Richard,
Oh,
if you,
would
could
you?
look, if you could look into that camera there
Yeah.
and just tell people where they can find you.
I'm gigging all over the place. I'm not going to the Fringe. I don't have a tour. If this goes out before June 18th, I'm on in June 18th in Aces and Eights. If it doesn't go out before that, go on my Instagram, which is @the_Stott. I list all my gigs and all my work in progress is on there.
Right, cool. Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you very
Richard, it's
much.
been an
Thanks for
absolute
having
pleasure,
me.
man.
Cheers.
This has
Absolute
been
pleasure.
brilliant. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
and
Cheers.
cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic episode. I think we covered so much in that.
Yeah, man. He, she, it, they were absolutely fantastic. Could have done without the Nazism though.
Yeah.
But we'll edit that out in post. All right. That's
Yeah.
the beauty. That's the beauty of being an editor on your own podcast.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, if you do like it, please share with family, friends, your therapist.
Your bigoted grandparents.
And then talk to your therapist again about why you shared this with your bigoted grandparents.
Yeah.
And yeah, please like, subscribe, give us loads of 5-star reviews, share everywhere you can, yell at people on the street about unmedicated. And if you want to follow us individually, you can follow me at Mark Nicholas Comic.
You can follow me on the street if you wish, but also online at Carl Wolf Says. And I have another podcast called The One Where I interview comedians and entertainers about a film or TV show that they like or dislike. Unmedicated was recorded and produced in studio by the lovely people at Streamline Studios. And so please give them a follow. And, well, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye!